Welcome everyone to the K-12 Blackboard Innovative Teaching Series and today's Solutions Engineering Lunch and Learn on tracking students' progress. If you're not speaking, I would encourage you to mute your microphone, and that'll help everyone to hear clear audio. That sounds good. My name is Jenny Breister, and I am the Senior Marketing Manager for Blackboard K-12, and I'll be serving as your co-moderator today along with my colleague Ryan McLaughlin. Ryan's not pictured here, but he's going to be helping us to monitor the chat room for questions. I'm currently logged on as Katie, but Katie's not here today. She is, however, our contact for those interested in presenting in a future session. So we're always open to new ideas for topics for the series. So let Katie know if you're interested in that. And for each session is going to be recorded. You can search the K-12 Blackboard Innovative Teaching Series playlist on the Blackboard TV YouTube channel or tinyurl.com/bitsK12. You'll receive the recording and presentation slides from today's session in a few days via email. And Ryan's got the links for you in the chat. In addition, you'll also receive an invitation to participate in a professional learning community on our new Blackboard community site. We're very excited to move the K-12 Bits PLC from core sites to our new community site. This PLC is designed to augment the series and create an avenue for ongoing collaboration and dialogue. So please accept the invitation and participate in the new online PLC. And we've got the link in the chat for you there as well. We have several exciting professional development sessions lined up. You can see the next 3 sessions here, beginning with one next Monday, December 7th. So feel free to sign up. We'd love to have you there. And you can see, again, the sign up link. Thank you, Ryan, for getting all those links up there for us. Now, before I introduce today's presenter, I'd like to remind everyone that these Lunch and Learn sessions are designed to provide practical how-to and best practices with Blackboard teaching and learning solutions, as well as provide a live forum for open discussion with Blackboard experts. We have a mini presentation planned today, but you can feel free to ask questions about anything related to our teaching and learning solutions. It's very open during the Q&A section. And now I'm pleased to introduce Tyler Four-Acre, K-12 Solutions Engineer here at Blackboard. Tyler, let me hand it off to you to talk a little more about your background and to get us started.
All right, thanks so much, Jenny. Just a quick hands up. Raise your hand if you can hear me. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All right. Well, we'll move forward. I appreciate all of those responses. Thank you so much. That's a very useful tool in helping us out. So as Jenny said, my name is Tyler Four-Acre. I am a solutions engineer with Blackboard. Specifically, I work on a team called Adoption Success with our main goal of just helping school districts, K-12 districts across the country to adopt and just increase their usage within the learning management system. So today, we're going to dive into the retention center specifically, as well as a few other ideas, and then as Jenny said, question and answer session at the end. My name is Tyler Four-Acre. I have about 10 years of education experience, ranging not only in special education, where we're required to monitor students on a very frequent basis, but also high school, middle school, and higher education level as well. So today's objectives are fairly straightforward and simple. We'll take a look at the retention center and the features and functionalities. We'll review some best practices associated with the retention center, and then we'll also have the question and answer sessions at the end. So when we first look at the retention center, many people are not certain as to what it is, but the great thing for you is that the retention center is automatically built on and available for you within your Blackboard course. There are 2 ways to get to it. Just like many things within Blackboard and within the Learn LMS, there are multiple ways to do the same task, and the retention center is no different. So by going through your My Blackboard menu, that would be the picture in the upper right-hand corner of your course, and then dropping down to the 2 arrows you can see there. That's one route to get to the retention center. The second route would be through the actual course that you're already logged into, and then going through the left-hand navigation menu, course management, down to evaluation, and then retention center. Same way to get to the exact same thing, but two different routes. Once we're in the retention center, there's going to be a very colorful display for you right off the bat. That display helps give kind of an overview of what's going on in the course, and we'll show a demonstration of this here in a little bit. But the big thing to remember with the retention center is that there are four main categories within the retention center, those being missed deadlines, grades, course activity, and course access. We'll review these on the next slide as well, just to break it down a little bit further. The big thing to remember is that you can make this as advanced or as basic as you would like it to be. You can create as many rules as you would like in each category. If I wanted to put 10 rules within the grades category, I could do that, and I would receive a lot of additional alerts within the retention center because of that. And so in terms of best practice, we would say one of the first things is keep it pretty simple. Start with a basic rule and a basic definition that's easy for you to follow, and then you can add as you see necessary. The other thing is with the retention center, you will have four different default alerts that come standard, one for each category. And so you can modify those, or you could keep them as you would like. The next piece is that data is refreshed within the retention center every time you access it, with the exception of the course activity rule. The course activity rule is recorded just once a day, and so that is the only one that will not update on a regular basis every time you go in. And then finally, you have the ability to monitor specific students. We'll show what this looks like here in just a little bit, but monitoring and notifying when necessary based on what you deem to be appropriate. So when we break down and we look at the rules a little bit more in detail here, we see the four different rule types on the left-hand side of the table. But then on the right-hand side of the table, we'll also see just a little description in here. Briefly want to go over these, but highlight a few different things within there. So the course activity rule is based on the student's overall activity in the class. You can set the threshold, but essentially it'll say the above and below defined level will trigger the alert. The second one would be the grade, and that is a wonderful, wonderful thing where you can align the alerts to be any of the calculated columns or any grade within the grade center. I find this to be wonderful, specifically if I want to monitor a group of students who, let's say we have a project that was due and the project is a large portion of their grade, and yet they just struggle through it. I could make my grade alert be the project category in the grade center, and then I'll be provided a list automatically of anything, any student who didn't meet my specific criteria. You can also determine, you can set a grade value, or you can use average grades as your alert as well. The next piece would be the course access. That is just an alert based on the last time a user accessed your course. This would be set for you for a number of days. And in terms of best practice, I would encourage you to expand it a little bit further than a small number. For example, in K-12 specifically, that weekend day, that Saturday and Sunday is going to count as well. And so it's really important to set an alert that's going to be useful for you and not overbearing in terms of the alerts that are presented within the retention center. And then the final one is pretty self-explanatory, a missed deadline, where you can set the retention center to report based on a certain amount of quantity of missed deadlines or dates of missed deadlines as well. The final piece, and it's a lot of schools and teachers don't realize, the retention center has some value for you as a teacher as well. Retention center is only available for teachers or grading instructors within the system, and so the retention center tracks what you do as well. You have the ability to track through the bottom screenshot, and you can see that displayed here on the screen here on my slide. But the retention center will track your last login. It also will track the time lag that you've had for grading student submissions. So if you look under assessment over here, you can see that my Chapter 1 assessment has 8 days pending. And so therefore, I've not graded this for over 8 days. The next piece would be your participation in the interactive components. So you can see on the interactive components that I have the discussion board, the blogs, and the wikis labeled. I'm sorry, and the journals labeled. And so I have numbers next to that. If I look at the blogs, 5 represents the amount of times that I've posted to a blog, and 2 represents the comments that I've made. So it tracks that as well. It allows us to do recent announcements, and it will display any recent announcement, and also gives you the opportunity to post one. And then the final piece, and this is something that I always encourage administrators while they're doing walkthroughs. When you sit down and you take a look at that Blackboard course, take a look at the Retention Center and go directly here, because it will tell the last time that content was created. So for this example, this teacher created content on January 23rd, 2013. So obviously a little bit old, but it'll tell you the last time that fresh content was created. And so that, as an administrator, gives you an idea going forward of what are they really doing? Are they just being stagnant, or are they applying what they're teaching to their Blackboard course? So at this point, I want to switch over here, and I want to go through a quick demonstration. Bear with me as I switch over. At this point, you should be able to see my screen. And so I want to go up here to the beginning where I said to access the Retention Center. And I want to show you the option here in the upper right, where if I go through my Blackboard and I go to the 2 arrows, I have the Retention Center that displays here, but it displays every single course that I'm a teacher in. A couple things here is that it gives an overview of the different courses. If you see an exclamation point, that means there's some alerts here that I need to pay attention to, and there's something going on within the course. But if I scroll down, I have some classes that have a smiley face, and the smiley face just indicates everything's good, no need to worry. So that's a quick at a glance. If I wanted to, I could jump directly into the course and start looking at the details. So I'm going to go into the course, and now it redirects me into that specific course. As I said earlier, when you first load the Retention Center, you will see a colorful bar. At first, it's going to have a solid bar, and it's telling me that I have 7 students at risk. If I click that bar, it now will break it down into the different categories. So I have 2 missed deadlines, 2 low grades, 5 did not contribute to the class. So these are the different alerts. If I click back to the overview, I also see that I have some students that are not at risk. And if I click that, it tells me that these 4 students within my course are doing everything fine. No alerts are being triggered, and I'm not worried about them at all. I talked about the ability to customize the Retention Center, so I want to show that briefly. If you click on the Customize button in the upper right-hand corner, the different rules will populate. You can see here that I actually have 5 rules, and the ability to include them in the risk table is listed here. You can include or exclude them from the risk table, excuse me. Under high achievers here, this is a feature and a best practice I would love to point out, is that you have the ability to not only track students who are struggling in your course, but you have the ability to track students who are doing really well. So for this, I created a new rule, and it's a grade rule, and this one I labeled high achievers. And I'm having a monitor of grades occur for students that are achieving over a 90%. I'll show you here in a second where that displays, but this is really beneficial to me, and I'll explain why in just a second. Let me go back to the Retention Center. And that student that I talked about that I'm monitoring for 90%, that student is not in the risk table because I said no, I don't want to include them in there. I want to include them over here on the right. And you can see grade alert, external grade is 90 above, and it's telling me that I have 1 student who has currently a 93.3. This might be a wonderful opportunity for you as a teacher if you're looking to provide some peer help or some peer groups for tutoring, or you're looking to find what students can I pair with a student that is struggling. This would be a great ability to just quickly monitor who those students are and keep a running total. And with that grade alert, you could do that for different columns within the grade book, within the grade center, or you can do just the final, the external grade as well. The other piece we talked about was the notification piece. And so I can go ahead and click within my, my notification and click to find out a little bit more detail. That I have 3 deadlines that I've missed by more than 5 days. And I have the notify button here. I can notify students, parents, or a combination of both. This goes as a system email, so that would need to be turned on through your Blackboard system. But it will pre-populate a message, and I'll show you briefly what that message looks like. Actually, you know what? I don't have that turned on in my system at this point, so I can't show you that. I apologize. But it'll give you a preformed message. And the other wonderful thing is because it is a free, I'm sorry, it is a sensitive to the users within, no one else within the message can see who the message was sent to. They're all sent as blind carbon copy. Um, Finally, if I go ahead and look at different students within the system, you can see the alerts that are being triggered. Let's say Tyler's student here, I'm really concerned about him. He's triggering 4 alerts. If I clicked within the alerts, it will show me his access on when he actually logged into the course or any of these different deadlines that he's missed. And let's say I become really concerned about him to the point where I want to specifically monitor him. If I click the star and the monitor button, he now populates on the right-hand side, and it'll show me some very specifics: last access, overall activity, grade, and the deadlines missed. It breaks down those different rules, and it gives a specific breakdown for me of each student. If I'm done monitoring Tyler, I can just get rid of him, click the star again because his grade's improved. And then finally at the bottom, we took a look at the different course activities for yourself as the teacher. And so this is where that area is displayed. If you, for example, are concerned because you have some days pending on the last time you graded, simply by clicking on the assessment, it'll take you to the needs grading page, and you can start grading right from there. So this really makes Retention Center a wonderful spot to check in at on a daily basis, just to make sure that everything is going as you would like within your course. And it also provides you some accountability under the class activity to keep a track of what's going on and to really contribute to the course. So at that point, I want to go ahead and pause, and Jenny, I'll turn it back to you for any questions or answers, questions that we have.
Sounds good. So far, the only question we've seen, Eric was wanting to make sure he could access the retention center, but he basically found it himself in tool availability, so that worked out.
Awesome. Yeah, as a teacher, as an instructor, you have the option to turn off Retention Center. If for some reason you didn't want it, you could go ahead into Tools under Availability and just completely turn it off. So I'm glad, Eric, that you were able to find that.
Very good. Hildy, definitely. Either in the chat or go ahead and turn on your microphone. It's a free forum here, so either way is fine.
Okay. Hi, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. So this is what I think is a unique situation. I don't know if anybody else would have this. We have this professional development course, and there's a very large number of participants and a large amount of work to be graded. I'm looking at revising that for the next time so it's not so heavy, but we like to provide a lot of feedback. We've got 3 people that are grading, and the Retention Center makes me think about kind of the teacher report card, and if the work is equitable amongst the teachers grading. So do you know if there's a way to pull some kind of information as to how much each teacher is grading and providing feedback? I'll turn off my microphone now.
So just to clarify, I think the question is for you as a person in leadership, correct me if I'm wrong here, to verify that the teachers are essentially sharing the load and they are grading equally amongst each other. Is that correct? Okay. Through the retention center, no, that wouldn't be a functionality. And to be completely honest with you, I'm not sure of a functionality or report that would show me that. The only thing that I would recommend was to dive into the reporting functionality and see if you can pull user activity reports and then take a look at it that way and see if you can identify what the individual graders are doing. That would be my only point of advice for that. It's a very unique question, Hildy.
And then Tally, you'll see there in the chat, Sandra also has a question if you can update the missed deadlines to only include recent deadlines.
Sandra, that is a great question. I'm going to switch back over here and share that again. Under the in the retention center, once you go to customize and you're talking about the deadline rule, we can take a look at that. And you can go over and you can monitor specific deadlines. So it's only for items that have due dates within the class. It wouldn't be to monitor just the recent ones. You couldn't set it to say, I only want to monitor within the last 2 weeks. The way that you could work around that, since you have the ability to create multiple rules for each category, and this would be a little time consuming, but you could set rules for only recent assignments through here under monitoring specific deadlines. And so you could adjust those and continue to create rules with each new assignment. And then as assignments become older and you don't want to monitor them anymore, you could just delete that rule from the missed deadlines.
Very good. Do we have any other questions? We'll give everyone just a minute or two to see, and if not, there's not a problem with closing our lunch and learn a little bit early. But Tyler, is there any other feature that comes to mind that you want to share, or
absolutely? So while people are thinking, another thing to really help with monitoring student performance, I'll share 3 other resources here. A lot of people forget about the performance dashboard, but I think it has a lot of value. Performance dashboard is located within your course, and it is on the left-hand side under class management and under the evaluation tab. But the performance dashboard provides you similar things as to the retention center, but it also provides a few extras. It will show you the last access date, time-stamped, and then also the day since the last access. But it will bring up the review status and the adaptive release. These are really important if you're using these within your course. So if you're setting review statuses or you're setting adaptive release, it'll identify the quantity that they've triggered. And so that just helps you keep a glimpse of what's going on with each student within the class. Specifically adaptive release, if you have a lot of custom adaptive or advanced, as we call, adaptive release rules within your course, and you're allowing the adaptive release to trigger additional content, this is a great spot to check in and take a peek of what's going on with each individual student. Also, their discussion board contributions. And then this is a quick at-a-glance retention center, and it shows how many of the alerts that you have, how many categories they're triggering, as well as the ability to click and go right into the grade center. And then the other pieces that I would really encourage you for is to check out the Blackboard help website. And specifically, once you get there, check out student performance and retention, because there are a lot of excellent tools that are listed within this website that will really guide you, not only through the 2 that we talked about, Performance Dashboard and Retention Center, but also it'll talk about setting up course reports, aligning goals to content so that you can run specific reports based on goals, setting up achievements and custom achievements, as well as tasks to really help guide your students through your course. And then finally, as always, we're always looking for help. And so I would look to direct you towards the Blackboard community website. And there's a wonderful new feature called Ideas. And so you're already going to be at the community website when you're looking at the recorded previous K-12 bits sessions. So take a look at the ideas and put some ideas in here to help improve the Blackboard products overall. And so you can browse through here and see what other people are thinking, and at times this really helps to guide you as well to spark some interest of additional things that you can do within the system.
Okay, any final questions for Tyler? And if not, we'll go ahead and just wrap up with a few closing comments. We definitely want to thank Tyler and all of you for participating in today's session. Again, let us know if you're interested in presenting or if you have ideas for topics for which you'd like to see sessions. Katie Gallagher's information is on the screen. You can either reach her via Twitter at @1KatieGallagher or by emailing her at katiegallagher@blackboard.com. And again, you'll receive the recording and presentation slides a few days after the webinar via email. And we definitely want you to join our professional learning community and to also log on to our K-12 Bits website to register for upcoming sessions. So we'll look forward to seeing you at the next session. Thanks again, Tyler, and have a great weekend, everybody.